my best.
Order. Questions to the Prime Minister. John Robertson.
Number one, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure the whole House will wish to join me in paying tribute to Sapper William Blanchard from 101 Engineer Regiment Explosive Ordnance Disposal, who died on Saturday. The work that our sappers do to make areas safe for both our soldiers and for local people requires unbelievable acts of personal courage and selflessness. They are the bravest of the brave. William was a talented and caring soldier who will be sorely missed by all those who knew him. Our thoughts are with his family and his friends, and we will not forget what he did. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in the House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
John Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I associate myself and those of my honourable and right honourable friends on this side of the House with the Prime Minister's comments? Our soldiers and armed forces need our greatest of respects, particularly at this time when we remember them. They will not be forgotten. Well, it's not the right honourable gentleman's fault that 555 of my constituents may lose out as due to the education maintenance allowance being done away with in Scotland. The fact is, he made a promise back in January at a Cameron Direct event where he said he would support EMAs. How many more promises will this government and himself do to, and break these promises to this country?
Well, what we are having to do is deal with completely broken public finances and sort them out. On the issue of the educational maintenance allowance, we are committed to ensuring that every young person remains in education and training until they are 18, and we will be ensuring that happens. And also, we will be replacing the EMA with a learner support fund, which crucially will be administered by the schools and colleges themselves, which will be far better at identifying those young people that need help to stay in education.
Elizabeth Truss.
Thank you. Would the Prime Minister agree with me that RAF Marham should be retained as a base for the Tornado? It makes economic sense, as there is a strong skills base in West Norfolk. And West Norfolk also has higher unemployment and higher deprivation than the alternative base under consideration in Scotland.
Well, the Honourable Lady makes a good plea for her area, and she's absolutely right to do so. She will know that we are committed to retaining the Tornado, which has been a very effective ground attack aircraft. We haven't made the final decisions about basing, but I'm sure her remarks will be very closely listened to.
Ed Miliband.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I first join the Prime Minister in paying tribute to Sapper William Blanchard from 101 City of London Engineer Regiment Explosive Ordnance Disposal. As the Prime Minister said, he died doing the bravest and most heroic work, and we send deepest condolences to his family. Can I also say to him that we fully support the actions the government is taking to tackle the terrorist threat that we saw re-emerge last week? Can I ask him to update the House on the review of air freight and passenger security, and ask whether he can tell us when he believes it is likely to be complete?
Well, I'm grateful for what the right honourable gentleman says. As he knows, a number of steps have already been taken, stopping freight transport from Yemen and Somalia, suspending the carriage of toner cartridges in passenger hand luggage on flights departing the UK, prohibiting the carriage of toner cartridges by air cargo into, via or from the United Kingdom unless they originate from a known consignor. We are reviewing, as he said, all aspects of air freight security. This is a complicated and difficult issue. There is a meeting with the industry tomorrow, and we'll be updating the House as soon as we can.
Ed Miliband.
Can I thank the Prime Minister for that answer? And can I take the opportunity to ask him about the wider context to this incident? Does he agree with me that, as well as the right measures on counter-terrorism, we need to tackle its roots as well? He will know that Yemen has long been one of the poorest countries in the Middle East, and that is why the Friends of Yemen conference was held earlier this year, and one is organised for next February. Can he update the House on the process of those talks, the Friends of Yemen talks, and also progress with the crucial IMF plan for Yemen to deliver much-needed economic reform?
What the Right Honourable says is absolutely right, that as well as having good intelligence sharing, as well as having tough terrorism anti-terrorism legislation in place. As well as those things, we have to deal with the root causes, and there is now a very worrying strain of al-Qaeda terrorism coming out of the Yemen. One of the problems is we need to make sure it is the priority for the Yemeni government, who are also dealing with other problems in their country. The Friends of Yemen process, which the former Prime Minister did a great deal to establish, is up and running. It is working well. The British are co-chairs of it with the Saudis. There was a meeting at the UN General Assembly. There will be further meetings, and the whole aim is to try and pressurise and work with the Yemeni government to deal with the issues that affect the wider region and indeed, as the recent events showed, affect us too. We'll go on with that. We will go on as we've committed with our development budget to make sure development aid is going to the Yemen. So there's, if you like, a short-term issue of getting the Yemeni government to concentrate on what matters, and there's a longer-term issue about economic development in the Yemen, which badly needs to improve.
Ed Miliband.
Can I thank the Prime Minister for that answer? And can I thank him and the Home Secretary for keeping the House updated on these issues, and I know that they will continue to do so. Mr. Speaker, let me turn elsewhere. The Prime Minister has talked a lot about restoring trust in politics. What does he expect of members of his government who gave cast-iron guarantees to their voters 6 months ago that they would vote against a rise in tuition fees?
What I would say to everyone who is part of this government is I think they have all taken, frankly, some courageous and difficult decisions to deal with something that, frankly, we all want. I think every single person in this House of Commons wants strong universities that are well-funded, that have greater independence, and we want to make sure that people from the poorest homes can go to the best universities in our country. That is what the proposals are going to achieve. They grew from a decision made by the last government to set up the Brown Report. And what a pity that opportunism has overtaken principle.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister used to think that trust mattered. What did he say in his joint forward with the Deputy Prime Minister? What did they say in their forward to the coalition agreement? We both want a Britain where our political system is looked at with admiration, not anger. Does he not understand the anger there will be among constituents of all of the people on those benches? Does he not understand the anger that will be felt in Sheffield, in Twickenham, in Eastleigh, in all those constituencies about promises made and promises about to be broken?
Along goes the Millie bandwagon, and on we jump. He talks about trust. What did he write in the Labour manifesto about the Brown Report, which he set up? They've completely broken their word. The point is, there is a debate now in Britain about how we get strong universities and people able to go to them without being put off. That's what we're proposing. That is what he's opposed to. And he should listen. He should listen to his Trade and Industry Secretary, who was part of the Brown process, who said this. The truth is there are many tax elements to the Brown plan. You only pay when you're earning above 21,000. Brown is essentially right. Why not join the consensus instead of just playing political games?
Mr. Speaker, I ask the questions at Prime Minister's questions. Let me just remind you. Now he talks about hard choices. He claims to be making a hard choice on tuition fees. I can't believe, Mr. Speaker, he's talking about hard choices this week. Because who has he chosen to put on the civil service payroll this week? His own personal photographer. Now, there's good news. There's good news for the Prime Minister. There's good news. Apparently he does a nice line in airbrushing. And you can picture the scene, can't you? You can picture the scene. You can picture the cabinet photo. We're all in this together, just a little bit more to the right, Nick. Let me ask the Prime Minister in all seriousness. Is it really a wise judgment when he is telling everybody to tighten their belts to put his own personal photographer on the civil service payroll?
Mr. Speaker, he asked the questions because he hasn't got any answers to anything. I mean, honestly, is this what his opposition leadership has been reduced to? The last government, let me just give you this figure. The last government, this is the answer.
The Prime Minister will be heard. There's far too much shouting going on, including by some very senior members who ought to know better. The Prime Minister.
The last government last year spent £500 million on communications. We are cutting that by 2/3. That's what's actually happening. We'll be spending a bit less on replacing mobile phones as well in number 10 Downing Street. But honestly, why not engage in the issues? We say you need a new system to fund higher education. That's what we're backing. He says he wants a graduate tax. The Shadow Chancellor says don't do it. The Shadow Trade and Industry Secretary is against it. What on earth is he reduced to?
Ed Miliband.
He can't even defend his own decision, Mr. Speaker. It isn't the truth that what we are learning about this government is it is a government of broken promises. Broken promises on tuition fees, broken promises on VAT, broken promises on child benefit from the Prime Minister. That is what they meant by broken Britain. The Prime Minister used to say he wanted to restore trust. All he is doing, day by day, is destroying trust in politics.
You can come here every week and have a succession of lame sound bites or engage in the substance about the future of our country. Mr. Speaker, we know what he's against. He's against a housing benefit cap. He's against taking child benefit away from millionaires. He's against a benefit cap. We know what he's against. But I think everyone's beginning to ask, what on earth is he for?